Sienna God, hello all. Oshisa good evening and Wado. Thank you for watching. This is day 8, part C, the final part of reading Many Lives, Many Masters, the timeless classic, the true story of a prominent psychiatrist as a young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives by Brian L. Weiss, MD. And all of the diamonds are perfect. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answer's simple. What am I to do? I was asking in the dream. I know I can treat and heal people in pain. They come to me in numbers beyond what I can handle. I'm so tired. Yet, can I say no when they are so needy and I can help them? Is it right to say no? Enough already. Your role is not to be a lifeguard, was the answer. Excuse me. The last example I will cite was a message to other psychiatrists. I awakened about 6 in the morning from a dream where I was giving a lecture, in this instance to a vast audience of psychiatrists, end quotes. In the rush toward the medicalization of psychiatry, it is important that we do not abandon the traditional, albeit sometimes vague, teachings of our profession. We are the ones who still talk to our patients patiently and with compassion. We still take the time to do this. We promote the conceptual understanding of illness, healing with understanding, and the induced discovery of self-knowledge rather than just with laser beams. We still use hope to heal. In this day and age, other branches of medicine are finding these traditional approaches to healing much too inefficient, time-consuming, and unsubstantiated. They prefer technology to talk computer-generated blood chemistries to the personal physician-patient chemistry, which heals the patient and provides satisfaction to the doctor. Idealistic, ethical, personally gratifying approaches to medicine lose ground to economic, efficient, insulating, and satisfaction-destroying approaches. As a result, our colleagues feel increasingly isolated and depressed. The patients feel rushed and empty, uncared for. We should avoid being seduced by high technology. Rather, we should be the role models for our colleagues. We should demonstrate how patients' understanding and compassion help both patient and physician. Taking more time to talk, to teach, to awaken hope and the expectation of recovery. These half-forgotten qualities of the physician as healer. These we must always use ourselves and be an example to our fellow physicians. High technology is wonderful in research and to promote the understanding of human illness and disease. It can be an invaluable clinical tool, but it can never replace those inherently personal characteristics and methods of the true physician. Psychiatry can be the most dignified of the medical specialties. We are the teachers. We should not abandon this role for the sake of assimilation, especially not now, end quote. I still have such dreams, although only occasionally, often in medicine or sometimes while driving on the highway or even while daydreaming. Phrases and thoughts and visualizations will pop into my mind. These often seem very different from my conscious and usual way of thinking or conceptualizing. They are frequently very timely and solve questions or problems I am having. I use them in therapy and in my everyday life. I consider these phenomena to be an expansion of my intuitive abilities, and I am heartened by them. To me, they are signs that I am headed in the right direction, even if I have a long way to go. I listen to my dreams and intuitions. When I do, things seem to fall into place. When I do not, something invariably goes awry. Trust your gut. Listen to yourselves, right? Not like society and all that kind of stuff. Not, a parent's like phrase or vernacular or whatever, just going over and over and over, right? Listen to your gut. Trust your gut, okay? It really, really, really will not steer you wrong. But you have to act when you feel that intention, right? And intuitiveness is not your feelings, okay? Let's just get that straight. Oftentimes it will feel uncomfortable because your intuitiveness will tell you to do something that you do not feel like doing, for whatever reason, but you need to jump on it. Excuse me. I still feel the masters around me. I do not know for sure whether my dreams and intuitions are influenced by them, but I suspect so. Afterward. Excuse me. It is now 2008. 20 years have elapsed since Many Lives, Many Masters was first published, translated into nearly 40 languages. This title book has traveled the globe and found millions of homes. Why is this? Our world still hungers for spiritual wisdom and understanding. We need to know why we are here and what we are supposed to do. We are in a new century, and yet the old questions remain. What happens when we die? Do we reunite with our loved ones? Excuse me. We never really die. And yes, we do reunite with our loved ones. Is there a purpose, a destiny to our lives, a meaning for our existence? Since working with Catherine, I have explored the past lives of more than 4,000 patients in my office and many thousands more in workshops. I have witnessed incredible healing as patients get rid of both emotional and physical symptoms after they recall the past life roots, excuse me, roots of their illnesses, phobias and fears, grief, pain, and psychosomatic illnesses are all especially responsive to past life therapy. Had to clear my throat. I have seen patients during regressions speak in foreign languages that they have never learned. This is called xenoglossy. For example, while working in my office with a surgeon from China who had never before been outside her country and who could not speak any English, a remarkable example of this language ability emerged. We were working through a translator, and the surgeon was remembering a past life in North Carolina around the year 1850. She was recalling an argument with her husband in that lifetime, and she began speaking in very fluent and colorful English. At first, the translator did not recognize what was happening, and he began to translate her words back into Chinese for me. I had to tell him to stop translating because I understood her English. When the interpreter realized that his client, who just 20 minutes earlier could not even say hello in English, was now speaking fluent English, he nearly fainted. To be a fly on the wall in that room. I have had many patients who could validate their past lives in one way or another. Some have been able to find their children from a recent past life, and the children, still in physical form but much older than their reincarnated past life parents, have been able to confirm the past life regression memories. To me, validating past life recall is important, but the healing that occurs during the process is even more important. For example, in a dramatic case of pain relief, a woman in her 60s was able to eliminate her severe back pain completely. She had suffered for 17 years from intractable, intractable, pain from cancer, and the subsequent treatments for her illness and required daily pain medication. But after remembering a lifetime in ancient Jerusalem, when she had been a man whose back had been broken by Roman soldiers, her back pain disappeared and has never returned. She was able to stop her medicine immediately. Her life has been transformed. Sometimes patients who are affected by chronic and often severe phobias are able to clear their symptoms in only 1 or 2 sessions. Recently, I worked with a patient who had suffered from a disabling phobia of sharp objects since she was 18 months old. She also had a profound fear of anyone touching her neck or even approaching her neck or throat in any manner. She had carried these fears for 38 years. In only one session, she remembered 2 past lifetimes. She had been killed when she was a man. On the western frontier of America, a Native American man had speared her in the side of her head, and she died while falling onto a sharp rock. In another lifetime, she had been a prostitute who was killed by a deranged client who strangled her and broke her neck. Before she left my office, both phobias were gone. Many other past life partners have emerged. I have seen many of my overweight patients lose weight, even when the various diets they had tried had all failed. During their regressions, they remembered lifetimes where they had either died of starvation or had been sexually abused. Essentially, in their current lives, they had vowed to quote-unquote never again, had vowed never again. So they carried the extra weight in order to avoid starvation or to be unattractive. That says a lot, doesn't it? Recognizing that the trauma was of the past and not the present, they were now able to let go of the protective weight. The pounds had never returned. Catherine continues to do well. I remain very grateful to her because her shared experiences were the start of this life-transforming journey for me. Many of my more important regression cases of the past several decades are written about in great detail in my several books subsequent to Many Lives, Many Masters, which I can't wait to read those. I will not repeat them here, but I would like to summarize some of the lessons I've learned over the years since Catherine. To me, these lessons led to an understanding of the spiritual universe. To paraphrase the mystic Teilhard de Chardin, T-E-I-L-H-A-R-D-D-E-C-H-A-R-D-I-N. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. End quote. Our bodies are temporary. We are souls. We are immortal. We are eternal. We never die. We merely transform to a heightened state of consciousness, no longer needing a physical body. We are always loved. We are never alone, and we can never be harmed, not at this level. We all have lessons to learn in this school called Earth. We need to comprehend completely the concepts of compassion, love, nonviolence, non-judgment, non-prejudice, patience, generosity, and charity, and hope. We need to recognize the deceptions and traps of the ego and how to transcend them. We must become aware of the interconnectedness of all living beings, that energy connects us all, and that there is no death, only life. There are other lessons as well. We do not have to master all these lessons in one lifetime. We can reincarnate into physical bodies as often as we need in order to learn and master those lessons. We change race, sex, religion, physical health or impairment, and nationality during our incarnations because we have to learn from all sides. We are rich and we are poor, powerful and weak, privileged and deprived. We learn by experiencing everything. We all have soulmates, souls with whom we have reincarnated many times. Soulmate relationships may be romantic, but frequently they are not, such as a parent and a child, siblings or best friends, grandparent and grandchild, and so on. Our bodies and relationships change, but the souls are the same. Your grandmother, for instance, may reincarnate as your son. Same soul, different body. We have many soulmates, and we are always being reunited either on the other side or back here. In a physical state, love has many facets. There is so much more to tell you. Much is in the books, Following Many Lives, Many Masters, but for now, I would like to end by quoting the last paragraph of my original epilogue from the very first edition of this book, in quotes. I hope that you will be helped by what you have read here, that your own fear of death has been diminished, and that the messages offered to you about the true meaning of life will free you to go about living yours to the fullest, seeking harmony and inner peace, and reaching out in love to your fellow humans. End quote. Brian L. Weiss, MD, Miami, Florida, April 2008. About the author. After graduating magna cum laude from Columbia University and receiving his medical degree at the Yale University School of Medicine, Brian L. Weiss, MD, served his internship at New York University's Bellevue Medical Center and went on to become Chief Resident, Department of Psychiatry at the Yale University School of Medicine. Currently, Dr. Weiss is Chairman of the Department of Psychiatry at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Miami Beach, Florida, and Clinical Associate Professor, Department of Psychiatry at the University of Miami School of Medicine. He specializes in the study and treatment of depression and anxiety states, sleep disorders, substance abuse disorders, Alzheimer's disease, and brain chemistry. So I appreciate you listening, and here are the 2 books that are mentioned in the back. This is for more Dr. Brian Weiss's groundbreaking healing methods. Read these provocative bestsellers: Through Time into Healing, Discovering the Power of Regression Therapy to Erase Trauma and Transform Mind, Body, and Relationships by Brian L. Weiss, MD. And then the other one, Same Soul, Many Bodies, Discover the Healing Power of Future Lives Through Progression Therapy by Brian L. Weiss, MD. Now available. This is available wherever books are sold or at www.simonschuster.com. I'll probably get mine off of Amazon. Anyway, I appreciate you beyond your ever understanding, right? Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next book, or with the next book, in the next book. I'm not in the book, but you know what I mean. I'll see you tomorrow with a new book. Donde go hang you in a good chance to we meet again. Love you, mean it.